Welcome back, everyone, to another video of the Gcor show. This video will be the end of season review, and wow, what a season we've had. What a season. The first season on the F123 model with the improved traction. A season where we raced at Canada for the first time, and Gcor classics such as Austria and Silverstone returned back to the calendar. A season where it was time for a new team to take reign. A season where Gcor icon Dino Bambino made a big money move to Ferrari. A season where Gcor debutants showed their potential, and more. But first of all, let's get to one of the biggest storylines of the season, and that was the record number of race winners. This season, we had a record number of race winners in Gcor with, I think the number actually was 8, ended up being 8. To put that into context, the season before that, the only race winners we had were 5, and 2 of those drivers won most of the races. In Gcor Gen.3 Season 2, Ciccone Zone 5 won 5 races. Dino Bambino won 4, with Coward, Sidkofa Foop, and who was the final name? And Hurricane, of course, all winning 1 race. But this season, race winners literally came from anywhere and everywhere, with Ciccone 75, Ollie Freeman, and Hurricane, and Dino Bambino all taking 2 race wins, with Cyrax, Midget Matt, Coward, and Gcor debutant Fuse Coolboy all taking 1 win each. What a season we had this year, and I think next season we can expect something similar. I think the grid's it's still going to be very competitive. I think it can only get more competitive from here, actually. Fuse Coolboy, what a season he's had. We'll speak about him a little bit more later in the video. And guys like Ciccone 75 and Dino Bambino didn't steal all of the headlines. If anything, you could argue Ollie Freeman was a quicker driver in that Mercedes environment. But once again, that's a video that's a topic for another video, for another day. Hurricane, he was involved in his first title fight this season, and what a title fight he managed to put up, leading the season for almost the entirety of the season. I think leading championship for the entirety of the season, almost the entirety. Championship lead was only lost, if I'm not mistaken, at 3 Grand Prix this season. And all that only to lose the championship in the final Grand Prix by 2 points. I think that's going to be painful. That is painful. With that said, however, I think Hurricane's learned a lot from this season, and I think he's shown everyone that he is capable to go toe-to-toe with the best drivers, not only on the grid, but the best drivers in Gcor history. He's able to fight with them, he's able to battle with them, he's able to beat them, And I think Hurricane, next season, whether he'll be in the title fight again, I think if he shows the same amount of desire, if he shows has the same characteristics as he had this season, I don't see why not. I'm sure he'll be able to take many more race victories, many more podiums, many more pole positions. I think this season, Hurricane actually finished the season with the most poles, with 3. So that just shows his quali pace, how good his quali pace was this season. And I think Hurricane, obviously, last season, most improved driver of the season. And as I keep on saying, his trajectory has been immense. Going from literally, as I've said in other videos, being a being a fidget spinner, just spinning constantly, to fighting for a world championship against Ciccone 75, who some may argue, should I say, is the greatest of all time. I think that just shows how much he's improved. And as I said, if he keeps on improving at this trajectory, don't be surprised to see him take a couple championships, Mark my words. Also, I think, similar to this topic, I think Ciccone winning his 5th driver's title is sensational. I think, you could argue he's not been the quickest driver this season. He's not been the quickest driver in this generation. But it's just that consistency to keep on doing it over and over again. I think that needs to be admired. and really it's just staying out of trouble. Races where you could argue he's not really had the pace to even be on the podium, such as Saudi Arabia. Finding himself on the podium, I think that's that's what separates you know race winners from title candidates, and I think that's what Hurricane also did very well this season. Races where he didn't have the pace, he managed to maximize his points. I remember Silverstone. At Silverstone, he struggled a lot that weekend. In qualified down in P7, um, and didn't really have the pace anywhere. But then ended up finishing P2 and taking driver of the day. And you know, Hurricane did that very well. But I think Chick does that. He's one of the best in the business when it comes to maximizing points on a bad day. He doesn't necessarily take the race wins as we saw this season. But as I said, consistency is key. If you want to fight for a championship, you need to be very, very consistent. Where a problem may arise, however, is the upcoming stars and talents. I'm looking at Fuse Coolboy. I mean, look at him. He managed to compete in the last, I think it was the last 5 races, and his pace in all of those 5 races, you could argue he was the fastest driver. I mean, to be fair, France, he only lasted 1 corner, but at Great Britain, managed to get his first ever pole. It was just because of a poor start. He bogged down off the start. Stalled the car. Fell down to, I think it was 5th or 6th off the line. Ended up finishing 3rd. But then Austria, that's where we really saw how good Fuse Coolboy is. Qualifying P3, but winning not only the sprint but the main race as well in convincing fashion. I think that really shows how good Fuse Coolboy is already. And I think next season, for him to be in the title fight, I think that's a very realistic thought. Portugal, same thing. Had a brilliant battle with Chick. I think his strategy was a little bit, on the weak side, to say the least, with Chick managing to undercut him. But once again, brilliant battle. And even in Brazil, he drove well, but then mechanical issues once again was his downfall. So don't be surprised to see Fuse there. Even the other rookie, what's his name? Walter Jr. We saw him at Brazil. He was hustling Chick. He was hustling Hurricane. Obviously he had nothing to lose, but he drove a brilliant race that weekend. And once again, don't be surprised to see him fighting for wins, and who knows, maybe even the championship. Another big point to take out of the season was Dino Bambino's retirement. Big news, and I wouldn't say it was the most unexpected news. Especially after Great Britain, there was always rumors circling after Silverstone, but yeah, him basically saying, "I'm taking a reserve role now. My days of racing full time are now over." I think Gcor are definitely going to miss him, and that rivalry, him and Chiconas, I think that has to be one of the greatest rivalries in Gcor history. I think those two going toe to toe for 2 seasons, even this season. When at the start of the season, when it was Chick versus Hurricane versus Cyrax versus Dino, I think that was brilliant. So yeah, obviously it's a shame. We're gonna miss Dino in the full time seat, but yeah, I'm sure we'll still see him at a few races. Obviously, he's going to be reserve driver now at, I think it's Haas. So that's definitely going to be an interesting thing to keep an eye on. But yeah, what a season! I think next season's definitely got the potential to be one of the best, if not the best, Gcor season of all time. With so many drivers. I mean, I'm looking at this. This just from the top of my head. Fuse Coolboy could be in this championship. Hurricane could be in this championship. Ollie Freeman could be in this championship. Obviously, towards the end of the season, he was quicker than Chick. Obviously, there was a lot of inter-team orders, but he was quicker than Chick. I think Portimao, Chick was quicker than Ollie Freeman, but apart from that, Brazil, you could argue Ollie was quicker. Obviously, there are a load of factors to also take into consideration. Ollie had the DRS. Chick maybe he wasn't pushing as hard, but still he was rapid. You know, Ollie Freeman taking back to back race victories, something Chicona still hasn't done in this Gen 3 era. You know, so Ollie Freeman will definitely be in this title fight too. Obviously Chick will be in this title fight. I'm sure he'll be, at the top of his game, hopefully, for his sake and GN7 Mercedes' sake. But who knows? I mean, at the start of the season, if you were listening to the interviews, he was saying the car is terrible, and for him to even finish in the top 5 in the championship will be amazing. I mean, you saw some of the drivers' predictions. Sid Kofa predicting Chick to finish 10th after pre-season. I think that was definitely a bold statement, but if you watch pre-season, you can't really blame Sid Kofa. Another driver who could be in this title fight, Sid Kofa. Who knows? I mean, he has got a tendency to lose his cool, but I think if he just stays calm, who knows? I mean, he's got the pace, so why not? We've seen him win races the last 2 seasons where he actually completed. So he could be in this title fight. Walter Jr., he could be in this title fight. Who knows? Cyrax, we've seen, again, another driver who's improved greatly. Midget Matt, he's going to be in a new environment. Don't forget that. GN7 Mercedes is a big team, a much bigger team than Alpine, so he could be in this. That's already 8 names. And that's not even mentioning names such as Charlie, who could, this could be his breakout season. Who knows? Skin Dog even. And obviously some returning drivers such as Joseph Teep. This season is going to be so good, and definitely I think it's got the potential to be the greatest ever season in GCor history. But yeah, that was just an end of season review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. The end of season presentation will be happening on Saturday, so I hope that you can be there to see that. But yeah, thank you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and on to the next one. Thank you guys, and goodbye.